there are some of us who are not trying to wear Gucci, who are not trying to look cool. We actually want this thing to fucking work. Peter Steph, Dutoy, Sia Kolisi, Cheslin Colby, I'd like to think, from a rugby background, are not chasing wealth. They're chasing the badge and honor and playing for your teammates.
Right.
The money then, more with more, comes as a result of. But these guys that you've got here, you negotiated with greedy clowns. And it's not going to work. Can we have another conversation where we're not speaking nationalization, we're not speaking free market capitalism, but we're speaking something else that is actually going to fucking work? For example, big business must build skill centers so that we have a skilled. Now, if you're scared that these guys are going to end up taking your children's business, then we've got a problem, because you don't want to come to the table and avoid a war. If on the other side we're saying, guys, go to school and study and buy South African, stop buying cheap Chinese clothing, and you guys don't want to do it, then you guys are also not coming to the table. So how do we build the systems, at least from a South African perspective, that push patriotism so that we can win? But I do not think we have the leaders.
We don't.
And at a time when it's crunch time, the people that you think are going to fight for South Africa end up just reverting back to their little tribal corner, and Julius does his thing, and the AfriForum guys do their thing, and the ANC guys, and Umkhonto is, and you're like, we thought we were going somewhere. But it's like, we're worse than 94. So maybe we're going to need something big. I'm just not sure what it is yet.
I think you're right. A big event would shift everything, like a war, like a natural disaster. You know, it's amazing how people can come together after a natural disaster, right? Of course. We're particularly good at it. You know, it's amazing to me how we're fragmented in some instances. But someone from outside of that space have a go at even your opposition.
Let a community be hit by a natural disaster. Weird people will come together to try and help.
100%. We're very good at that. We come together like legends.
Are we meant to manufacture an intelligent enemy?
Wow.
Maybe, as a nation. So in sports, it's easy. We want to win a World Cup.
Yeah.
But should we be manufacturing an enemy that's going to force all South Africans to be like, yo,
a common goal, a common dream? There's other countries that are very good at that. I want to go back a step. Leadership. There's a worldwide vacuum pen. Well, you can't argue that. Look around. People love and hate Trump. Yeah? Why? Because they've got nothing else. There's really no one. There's no one.
I didn't understand why Trump and Harris were the only candidates. There are so many brilliant. You know, when you watch American politics, they've had Vivek. He's Indian, brown. They had a Chinese guy, I forgot, he's a tech millionaire.
Yeah.
These are sharp guys, and I don't know what happens. They just disappear, and then you end up having your Joe Bidens get to the top. I don't get it.
90% of the political discussions over a dinner table, over a braai, over a beer. American politic in my world. Why not our own politic? Tired of the vitriol, tired of both sides. You know, I think when it came to voting, I went around my office to implore people to vote. Please vote. And my request of all of them, because how do I get to people that come across from such different context? Such different context. If you're older than 35 or younger, the world's different for you.
That's correct.
You see it very differently. Doesn't matter your culture, color, creed. You see it differently. And you came from very different ways of doing things. Please vote. Please vote. And vote. My suggestion is vote for who you believe will deliver what you most want. What's important to you? On your value scale, what's critical? So some people are prepared to engage on that. Let's talk about it, right? For me, in my space, remember what I said, there's one commonality to all humans. I want a better life for me, and I want a better life for my children.
Yes.
Let's go to that principle, right? So what delivers that better life? Who's going to do it? Is it ANC, EFF, DA, Patriotic Alliance? Don't know. Okay. Each one very different from the other. Each one pushing almost a different dynamic. For me, I look at what the ANC delivers in my world. I'm going, but there's no power. There's no water. There's no economy. There's a program of upliftment that is excluding my children. 100%. Can't go there. Yeah. Which for me is back, at least there's a lesson we've learned in that somewhere in our past, right? Not to exclude someone 100% from something, because they're not going to feel invested ever. You can do the dynamic a little bit different is the key maybe, but the long and short of it is vote for who's going to deliver for you, not for who your community's telling. And there's a big issue, right? Tribalism. And the fear of being kicked out of this tribe and not making, I had guys telling me I didn't vote. So why didn't you vote, man? So, I actually don't believe in this one or that one, or, I'm fearful of the DA for obvious reasons. And I'm not so keen on the ANC because I can see they're corrupt or they haven't delivered or, whatever. And so, but why didn't you vote? You're not voting is handing it to these guys.
Young people didn't vote. We tried.
Jeez,
we tried speaking to young people.
Do you know how many?
And I appreciate that they were honest enough to say exactly what you're saying. I'm not going to vote because
they didn't want the community's scorn. They'd rather, I couldn't get there, I was busy, it was this, it was that. But I'm not voting because I really do actually want to vote over here. But if I told my community, and they will ask, and I will tell, and that's going to cause all sorts of havoc. That's not a good place to be. That's back to tribalism, right? Back to that issue of tribalism. And so, okay, what's going to deliver for you? Me, old white man, right? Got kids coming through, trying to build economy, trying to build a company, trying to build people in that company, trying to build different businesses. At a professional level, you don't need a lot. You just need an office. But at a production level, manufacture level, you need a whole bunch of other stuff, and it needs to work, Penwell. So what am I looking for? I'm going to vote DA because they promise me an economy and they promise me water and light. That's kind of the basics for me. Those are the things I want. You give me water, lights, and an economy, and I'm away. I'll make the rest happen, Penwell. Yeah? I'm industrious. I know a lot of people like that, and it doesn't know color. People who hustle. Just give them the basic ingredients, and they're away. They're gone. They'll make it happen.